Hello and welcome to Pop Along RC. Today we are talking about how you can get faster on the racetrack. So, the big question, how do I make my car go faster on the track?
Well, you know what? There's actually not a great deal to it.
There isn't. But do you know what? I have been on many a forum and many a Facebook page where this question has been asked, and it's normally followed by, what do I need to buy? Controversial this bit now, isn't it?
Controversial because there is things you need to buy, like we've mentioned in some of our other videos. Main thing being the right tyre choice.
Definitely.
That is essential.
For us, tyres, shocks, and it can almost stop just there with regards to what you need to buy initially. The next part, and this is the controversial bit, and I have seen many people get abused online for saying, learn to drive. Now, as harsh as that sounds, there are lots of things that you can do to make yourself a better driver on the track and really shave off some serious time.
Absolutely right. We've often said in the past that slow is fast, and let me tell you something, absolutely right. Slow is fast.
Now then, as for us, we are experienced racers, and sometimes we do look to shave little fractions of a second here and there to make ourselves a little bit better on the track. But the thing that we start with is get round the track clean. If you can't drive round the track without touching the sides, then you're not going to be able to race round the track.
Absolutely right. And if you make a mistake and you're on your roof, and if you're unfortunate enough to get a bit of a slow marshal, which can happen, they might be looking around the room. If your car's on its roof and it's a small track, you might, by the time they put it back, be one lap down, which is massive in terms of racing. So if it's on its roof, it's not going anywhere fast.
No. So the fastest way to get around the track is to stay on all four wheels. What we advise is getting around the track without touching the sides. Once you can consistently get around the track without touching the sides, you can start thinking about the racing line.
Yeah. What you might want to consider doing, and again this is a bit controversial because we all like to go fast, don't we, is using your EPA, your endpoint adjust on your throttle. So basically slowing your car down. Not a lot of people, we've said that in the past to a lot of people and they ignore it, okay? But if you do it, you can start notching it up with every race meeting you go to until eventually you go full throttle, hitting every apex perfectly.
That is a big one for me. It is about knowing how to control your speed around the track. Some people, when they first start out in the hobby, they squeeze full throttle, they let off full throttle, they squeeze on full throttle, and this really unbalances the car and that makes it unpredictable in the turns.
It certainly does.
What you want to try and do is feather that throttle so that you can slow the car down, but keeping the car under control as you come in and out of turns.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is practice. Now I don't mean wait until your club is open. Most of us into RC will have more than one car. They'll have one for like outside use, one for inside use, and a basher just for fun. You can take any of those cars as long as it's not one you're precious about, like this one here.
Definitely.
And set yourself up a track. Set yourself up a track outside. If you've got a little bit more money, you can invest in something like this. This is a lap monitor, and it's just a timing system that you can take anywhere. It's got a couple of batteries in the back. You set it up, link it to your phone. You get a transponder in the car that comes with it. And then, you know what, you can just keep going round and round and round, shaving off bits here and there until you become ultimately a better racer. Something we've done quite a lot of.
Quite a lot, definitely. Yeah. And what you can find with a device like this, and you've got the freedom to spend as much time and you're not restricted to your race or your practice session, what you can do is then make more changes to your car. So if you were to drive your car around the track and you could do 10 to 15 laps and they're all really close in the time, you can then make some adjustments to the car. Maybe try some new tyres, maybe change the shocks, maybe change the toe in, the camber, and different settings Then you go out and you do another 10 to 15 laps, and again, if those times are really close together and you've got a good group in, you can see whether you've actually made the car faster or slower.
Absolutely, you need to gauge it against something, right? So that's a good way of doing it.
Definitely. But when you are doing that, make sure you only change one thing at a time, otherwise you're not going to know what it is that's making a difference.
So if you start at a very basic level, like we are racing at the moment with the TT01, that car is a nice platform to start with because there's not much changes that you can do to the car, not many. For example, that car there will let you do toe in and toe out. However, you can't adjust camber with it, or droop, or Ackerman, or anything like that. So it's nice and basic. So once you've set it up, you've set it up. Further down the line, if you fancy getting something a little bit more exotic, like a nice X-Ray touring car or whatever the latest one is, then you can do that. But when you get one of those, be aware there's a lot more changes that you could
and will need to make.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, to recap, the most important thing to get you around the track is tyres. Make sure you use the right tyres for the right track and ask your club guru what tyres to run.
And keeping those tyres on the track because a car on its roof is going nowhere.
Absolutely. And to do that, slow things down.
Stay off the barriers, and as you get better, tighten up your racing lines. If you have got any questions, stick them in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them. And if we don't know the answers, we can always ask Dave, can't we?
We'll ask Dave.
Yeah.
He'll know.
He'll know.
Yeah.
That timing system,
yes,
it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
What do you think Arnie would say about it?
I know exactly what Arnie would say about this.
I mean, it's terrific, right?
Absolutely, Arnie. It's terrific. On that note, we'll see you again. Take care.